The Voice in the House by Alex Kudria. Chapter 1. The Call. The call came at 2:47 p.m. in the school pickup line. Wedged between a silver minivan and a Subaru with a faded soccer sticker. Maya's voice. It's screaming. Not annoyed, screaming. Not teenage dramatic, screaming throat raw. Animal, screaming. Mom, they have me. Mom, please, I don't know where I am. A male voice cut through. 15,000. Bitcoin. You have 2 hours. Quote. Jenna's hand found the gear shift. Other parents chatted outside their cars. Coffee cups? Folded arms. Someone laughing about a conference. The pickup line inched forward. Ben was inside. 3rd grade. Dinosaur backpack. Waiting at hook 3, left side. If you call police, we send the video. What video? Maya, are you? The line went dead. She pulled out of the line. A dad in a Bronco honked. She didn't hear it. Parked behind the Walgreens on Elm. Engine running. Hands vibrating against the steering wheel. No, not gripping. She unlocked her phone and called Maya. Voicemail. Again. Voicemail. The parking lot smelled like hot asphalt and dumpster. She opened her apps and started dragging. Alphabetizing. A, the airline app. B, the bank. C, the calculator. D, DoorDash. A, B, C, D. Her thumb moved and her breathing slowed exactly 2 beats, and nothing made sense, but at least the letters were in order. The text arrived 14 minutes later. A Bitcoin wallet address, a string of characters that looked like a cat had walked across a keyboard. Below it, a timer graphic. Amateur, the kind of thing a teenager would make in Canva. Red numbers counting down from 1 hour 45 minutes and 32 seconds. But the voice had been Maya's. Not a general teenage girl's voice. Maya's. The pitch, the rhythm, that specific way. She said Mom with the vowel flattened, a thing she'd been doing since 7th grade. The half-swallowed breath before the scream. Maya did that when she was frustrated. When she was scared. When she was fighting with Tom about curfew. Jenna had heard that breath 1,000 times. She opened the bank app. Joint checking, $3, $200. Savings, $16, $400. The $15,000 sat there like a number on a test she hadn't studied for. She'd been saving it from Maya's cross-country camp. 4 weeks in Colorado. The deposit was due next month. She Googled how to buy Bitcoin. 3 ads. A Reddit thread. A YouTube video titled Bitcoin for Beginners 2024. She watched 30 seconds of a man in a baseball cap explaining blockchain like it was a recipe for chili, and then stopped because the timer on her phone showed 1 hour 31 minutes and 7 seconds, and nothing about chili was going to help her. Her fingers moved like they belonged to someone operating from very far away. The phone rang, not the anonymous number. Ben's school. Mrs. Garza. Mrs. Cole? Ben is still here? Pickup was 20 minutes ago? The air left her chest. She'd forgotten. She'd been parked behind Walgreens for 22 minutes, and her 6-year-old was standing at hook 3 with his dinosaur backpack, and nobody had come. Yes, I'm coming. 5 minutes. She drove. 4 minutes. Ben was sitting on the bench outside the front office, legs swinging. working on a drawing with a snubbed crayon. Not worried. 6-year-olds don't track time the way their mothers do. Hey, bud. Sorry I'm late. Look. He held up the drawing, green and brown, and a red triangle mouth. His name is Rex, and he protects people. He looks very strong. He is very strong. He can eat a whole car. She buckled him in. His backpack smelled like glue and graham crackers. He sang something from a cartoon, off-key. Wrong words. Fully committed. She watched him in the rear view, and her throat closed, and she drove home. 3:34 p.m. Ben at the kitchen table with homework. A worksheet about community helpers, firemen, doctors, teachers. He colored the firemen purple. Jenna locked herself in the bathroom, sat on the tile, opened the Bitcoin app she'd downloaded in the Walgreens parking lot. The verification process took 11 minutes. Photo of her license. Selfie. Waiting. Approved. She transferred the $15,000. Confirmation email at 3:51 p.m. Transaction ID. A string of numbers that meant nothing and cost everything. She flushed the toilet so Ben would hear a normal sound and washed her hands and looked at her face in the mirror. Not processing, not staring. Just checking that she was still a person who looked like someone's mother, and went back to the kitchen. Mom, is a fireman a community helper or a hero? Both. Bud. Tom came home at 6:15. Loosened his tie in the hallway. The way he did, like untying it, was the first honest act of his day. Burroughs is retiring. Long meeting. The guy literally cried into a sheet cake. Rigatoni tonight. Turkey bolognese. Ben's favorite? He asked. They moved around the kitchen in the geometry of a marriage. She at the stove, stirring the bolognese with a wooden spoon that had a scorch mark from the time Tom tried to make crepes. He setting plates, both reaching for the Parmesan at the same time, fingers not touching. Ben narrated a dream about a flying school bus. And then the bus went to Mars, and Mrs. Garza was the pilot, and she said everyone gets extra recess on Mars. Maya texted that she was eating at Olivia's 3 pizza emojis, and nothing else. The rigatoni was slightly overcooked. She'd left it 2 minutes too long because the Bitcoin confirmation email had arrived while she was draining it, and she'd stood over the colander reading a transaction ID that meant her savings account was now a number she couldn't say out loud. Nobody mentioned the pasta. Tom grated Parmesan over his plate, then asked for more. Jenna chewed without tasting and existed in 2 places at once. Here, at the table, passing bread, and also in a Walgreens parking lot with a phone playing her daughter's screaming voice. Both locations real, neither resolving. Mom, can Rex eat rigatoni? Rex can eat anything. Even trucks? Especially trucks. She cleared the plates. Tom loaded the dishwasher, his back to her, fitting glasses into the top rack with the same careful efficiency he brought to everything. Spreadsheets. Lawn care. Loading a dishwasher. A competent man performing competent tasks. She wiped the counter and said nothing about the $15,000. Said nothing about the screaming voice that sounded like their daughter. said nothing about anything that would crack the surface of this dinner, where a purple fireman drawing was drawing on the counter and her son was telling them about a bus that could go to Mars. Kids in bed. 9:14 p.m. Jenna sat on the bathroom floor, not the window. The floor, cold tile against the backs of her thighs, and opened Maya's Instagram. She scrolled past 3 stories, someone's cat, a sunset with a caption that was mostly emojis, a reposted meme about calculus. Then, selfie at 3:15 p.m. Maya and Olivia and a girl named Kayla, hallway, fluorescent light, laughing, peace signs. Maya's hair in a messy bun, the cross-country jersey, braces catching the light. 3:15 p.m. 28 minutes after the call, Maya had been at school, laughing, braces and peace signs. Never kidnapped, never touched, never within 100 miles of whoever was on that phone. Safe the entire time, standing in a hallway that smelled like floor wax and body spray, making the face she made when someone said something funny, chin tucked, eyes wide, mouth open in that way that drove Jenna crazy in family photos. The $15,000 was gone, sent to a wallet she couldn't trace and would never recover. Maya's cross-country camp, 4 weeks in Colorado. The deposit they discussed over leftover pasta 2 Sundays ago. A scam. A voice on a phone that sounded so much like her daughter that she'd emptied her savings account in a Walgreens parking lot while other parents drank coffee and talked about conference schedules. She closed Instagram and pressed her forehead against her knees, the kind of stupid that doesn't come with laughter. Tom was in bed, reading something on his tablet, a long article, the kind with graphs, the blue light, making his face look 10 years older. Jenna crawled in beside him. The sheets were cool. The house was quiet in that specific 9 p.m. way, dishwasher running its final cycle, neighborhood dog barking twice, then stopping, the furnace clicking on with its low metallic hum. "You seem off," Tom said without looking up. "Just tired." Under the blanket, she opened her phone. Dragged apps. H, health, I, Instagram, J, nothing starting with J. K, she downloaded a Korean dictionary app she'd never used just to fill the slot. HIJK. "Big day tomorrow?" he asked. "Just meetings." He turned off his tablet, kissed her forehead. A gesture so automatic it had lost its warmth 3 years ago, but retained its shape, like a vase after the flowers have died. She lay still. The dishwasher changed cycles. 10:47 p.m. New text from the anonymous number. "Smart choice. Now $10,000 by midnight. Don't tell Tom." She sat up. The room was dark. Tom breathing steady beside her. That low, almost whistle he made through his left nostril. A sound so familiar it had become part of the architecture of her nights. $10,000 they didn't have. Not in savings. The $15,000 had cleaned it. Checking had $3, $200. They'd need $1, $400 for the mortgage on Friday. The math was simple, and the math was impossible. She typed, "I don't have it." 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared. "Find it. Or we send Tom what we have on you." What they have on her. The words sat in the dark like something with teeth. What could they have? Her pulse answered before her brain did. The affair. Drew,